What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. Today's video, we're going to give you our power rankings going into Week 16 in the NFL. All that and much more coming your way right now! Hey Trash Talkers, over 85% of you are still not subscribed to the channel. Please be sure to hit that red subscribe button and turn on notifications, as it will help us create more daily content for you. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Alright Nick, so Tuesday, the day we normally post our power rankings, but it's weird. We still have 2 more football games, so yes, I understand not every game has been played from Week 15, but at the end of the day, this is the day we do our power rankings, and I'm stubborn. I'm not going to change it. So we're going to just leave those teams where they normally are, and we'll change it as we go forward in the next coming weeks. But as of right now, I want to take a look at the current standings of the power rankings. And Nick, 31-32, who do we got here? Because there's been a little bit of a shakeup.
Finally, we have a little bit of noise here. The Jacksonville Jaguars come in as the worst team in the NFL. They now have the #1 overall pick currently in the 2022 NFL draft. And at 31, we have the Detroit Lions putting together their second win against one of the hardest teams in the NFL to face. Incredible victory for them. Unfortunately, they no longer hold on to that coveted #1 pick.
Before we switch over, I gotta give credit to Dan Campbell. The man has done an absolutely phenomenal job. I know it doesn't show up in the wins and losses, but at the end of the day, they have been in some of the hardest fought games all season long, and it's finally paying off. Whether they end up with the 1 or the 2 doesn't really matter, because Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau are going to be there for the taking, and I think either one of these guys is going to even bolster them more. So the Lions are winning even more with that win. All right, moving it along, we have teams 30 through 21. Taking a look at team 30, we have the New York Jets. At 29, the New York Giants, the Houston Texans, the Chicago Bears, the Carolina Panthers, the Seattle Seahawks, the Atlanta Falcons, the Denver Broncos, the Cleveland Browns, and the Miami Dolphins coming in at 21. Nick, out of these teams, which team surprised you the most here?
Yeah, the New York Giants continuing to struggle, but again, no Danny Dimes. He is now out for the season. Losing Sterling Shepard this past week was a big blow, but the team was not going anywhere anyway. And now we see that Saquon Barkley is just not the guy he used to be. He's not the same running back. In fact, Devontae Booker is looking to be the better back on the Giants right now. They've got to rethink some things this offseason, get this offensive line figured out. You're really playing for next season at this point, and you got to try to get the best pick possible to see if Danny Dimes is truly your franchise quarterback.
I know you just talked about Saquon Barkley, but that nice catch he had, I don't know if there's another person in the NFL that can make that catch, so kudos to him for that. But the team I want to talk about here is sitting at 21, the Miami Dolphins. They come off of a win against the New York Jets, but it didn't look like a win. In fact, Tua Tagovailoa looked like the guy I thought he was all along. He is a terrible passer of the football. He's not consistent with his throws. He can't get timing down with his receivers. And yes, I understand Jalen Waddle wasn't in this game, but the fact remains that he still had Devontae Parker, he still had Mike Gesicki, and he still had Myles Gaskin, and these guys could not get it going. They were lucky that they were facing the New York Jets because they just did not look like a quality football team. This team has a long way to go, and if Brian Flores wants to keep his job down in South Florida, he's going to have to step up the pace. This is not a good showing for the Miami Dolphins, and that's why they find themselves in this position where they are, leading the worst football teams in the NFL. All right, next up we have teams 20 through 11, starting off with the Las Vegas Raiders at 20, the Pittsburgh Steelers at 19, followed by the New Orleans Saints, the Minnesota Vikings, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Washington Football Team, the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, the San Francisco 49ers, and at 11, the Los Angeles Chargers. Nick, out of these teams, which one surprised you the most?
Yeah, the Los Angeles Chargers looked like they should have had Thursday Night Football locked up, and they had so many opportunities to take the lead throughout the game, except their rookie head coach, Brandon Staley, who's looked incredible this season, has had some blunders, and this was his biggest yet. He decided to go for it on multiple fourth downs when they were in field goal range and decided that that was the better option than taking the lead. It came back to bite him in the end, because if you tally up all those points they left on the field, if they had kicked those field goals, would have put them over the top and beaten the Kansas City Chiefs, which would have given them the division lead. And you put the Kansas City Chiefs in the wild card spot, even fighting for a playoff spot. That puts you as the Chargers in a much better position. Now you're fighting for a playoff spot, and you got to see if your team can really hold up. It's not a good look. I know you want to play with the analytics, but this is not the move, and you've got to realize it quick before you miss out on the playoffs altogether.
Yeah, sometimes common sense has to trump the analytics, and I think that's a lesson Brandon Staley had to learn, but it comes at a huge cost for his team. But a team that I want to focus on, if we back it up a little bit, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers have actually started to look like the team we thought they were going to be entering the season. After that tie with the Detroit Lions, I think something happened to this team where they were like, this is not us. This is not Pittsburgh Steeler football. And when you listen to Ryan Clark and when you listen to some of these former Steelers talk about this team under Mike Tomlin, they realize this is not Pittsburgh Steeler football. And now they're starting to get things going. That Chase Claypool mishap where he's, flexing after a first down while clock is running, not a good look for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're starting to figure these things out and starting to get things going. I just don't know if it's going to be too little too late as the Pittsburgh Steelers find themselves trying to claw into the playoffs with a lot of quality teams ahead of them.
And for our top 10 teams, starting off with number 10, we have the Arizona Cardinals, who have dropped. They were at number 1 through most of the season, and now they see themselves dropping their biggest loss against the Detroit Lions, the worst team coming into the week. The Arizona Cardinals have been as healthy as they've been through the second half of the season, and it looks like Kyler Murray is not shaping out to be the MVP candidate he's been all season. This was a bad game all around for the Arizona Cardinals, and they've got to figure out whether this is a team that can compete with the rest of the NFC. We're gonna have to see them really pick it up with the last 3 games of the season.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals didn't have DeAndre Hopkins, but a team that's also dealing without their best player, the Tennessee Titans, and they have been struggling as well, losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I just talked about. And the Tennessee Titans are struggling right now to hold on to their division lead, as the Indianapolis Colts look like one of the best teams in football as that we have today. At the end of the day, the Tennessee Titans have to keep chugging along and get every single win possible, because the Colts are just nipping at their heels.
Coming in at number 8, we have the Buffalo Bills. The Bills faced off against the Carolina Panthers, and the end score shows that it was pretty lopsided. But for the first half of the game, it was a toss-up. The Carolina Panthers got a lead early, and it really wasn't until the second half of the game where we saw the Bills' offense come alive. The lack of a run game is really hurting them. Josh Allen took a massive beating from that front 7 the Carolina Panthers have, and he's got to go face the New England Patriots in a big divisional matchup next. This is a very tough schedule for the Buffalo Bills, and they have fared so far through it, but they've got to really see what this team is made of, as they have their biggest test yet.
You talked about them, the New England Patriots coming in at number 7, and the Patriots are coming off of just an absolute stunner of a loss to the Indianapolis Colts. It's not the loss that's actually stunning, it's the fashion in which it happened, where Jonathan Taylor absolutely decimated this entire defense for 170 yards and a touchdown, especially that touchdown to just seal the game late in the fourth quarter. There's a lot of things going right for the Patriots so far this season, but a lot of things that are starting to rear their ugly heads. It's time to figure out which team is truly the correct Patriots this season. Is it the team that was on a 7-game winning streak, or is it the team that just got absolutely blown out by the Indianapolis Colts in the first half? I'm interested to see, but they have a huge game coming up against the Buffalo Bills that's going to tell us a lot about both of these teams.
And as you just mentioned, the Indianapolis Colts coming in here at number 6. The Indianapolis Colts had an incredible victory over the New England Patriots, absolutely destroying them in all 3 phases of the game. It was a total embarrassment, and the Colts are looking to take that success and continue with it as they try to get past the Tennessee Titans, try to take a hold of the AFC South. That is their next feat. They've gotten past the Patriots. It's on to the next, and the Indianapolis Colts are looking absolutely incredible behind Jonathan Taylor.
Another team in the South that's trying to win their division, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we see them come in at number 5 on our power rankings. The Buccaneers just suffered massive losses, not only in the game, but to their roster, losing Chris Godwin for the entire season with a torn ACL, losing Mike Evans for the next few weeks with a hamstring injury, losing Leonard Fournette, all of these players going out. Now they have Antonio Brown coming back. He looks like he's going to have to be the lead guy for Tom Brady in this offense, because Tyler Johnson and these other guys could not simply handle what Tom Brady was throwing at them. They could not handle this offense. And right now the Buccaneers are in absolute shambles, trying to hold on to their division lead, as the New Orleans Saints are now in the playoffs, but also looking to take advantage of the Buccaneers' woes and maybe take the NFC South.
Coming in at number 4, the best team currently in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs. An incredible Thursday night victory over the Los Angeles Chargers. It was key as they now separate themselves in their divisional race. They now take the lead in the AFC altogether, topping the Patriots and the Tennessee Titans. And they had their best performance against their division rival. Travis Kelce almost having 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill 150 yards. It was an incredible game by the Kansas City offense, and the defense without Chris Jones really stepped up against a big Chargers offense. That was a big attack they had to handle, and Steve Spagnuolo's defense really took care of business. The Chiefs are putting it all together when it matters most. They look like the strongest team currently in the AFC.
From one overrated team to another, we go to the Dallas Cowboys at number 3. And the Dallas Cowboys are lucky to be in the position where they are, currently sitting number 2 in the entire NFC. But they are struggling on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm going to call out Dak Prescott. I'm calling out this offensive line. And especially I'm calling out Ezekiel Elliott. This entire offense has not been able to move the ball. We see CeeDee Lamb dropping easy passes across the middle. He's not focused. This entire team is being led by their defense, which is just astounding to me, thinking that the Dallas Cowboys defense is what's carrying them so far. The Dallas Cowboys have to get going, otherwise they're going to have the entire league pass them by in the standings. It's not looking pretty for them, but they sit at number 3 right now based on sheer luck.
Coming in here at number 2, we have the Los Angeles Rams. Now, yes, they have yet to play this week, but what we've seen from the Los Angeles Rams is incredible. They lost Robert Woods after the acquisition of Odell Beckham Jr., and a lot of people thought, hey, the season, it's not going to be the same. They're not going to be the team to make it in their division. Well, here they come. They put it all together. They're starting to figure it out, and they had an incredible victory over the Arizona Cardinals on the road. They had a massive statement victory that really puts them in the limelight to take over the lead of this division. They've got the Seattle Seahawks in front of them, and they're ready to take them out. It's on to the next, and I could really see the Los Angeles Rams putting themselves atop this division by the end of the year.
Going from the team that Odell Beckham chose to the team that he stiff-armed away, the Green Bay Packers sitting at number 1, and they are clearly the class of the NFL right now, led by Aaron Rodgers, who is currently leading Vegas odds for the MVP award for what would be a second straight season. He has this offense humming with Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon. These guys are going crazy right now, and they're still missing Randall Cobb. So this team can only get better as they get healthier. And on the defensive side of the ball, these guys are flying around the football field, making tackles, doing everything in their power to get things going. And they're going to get Jair Alexander back, and they're going to get Zadarius Smith back. At the end of the day, the Green Bay Packers are by far and away the best team in football. I know I said it to you, Nick, but the Green Bay Packers are the best team in football, and everybody else is just scrounging to find out who can be in second place.
Absolutely. The Green Bay Packers are the best team, and I really don't think there is a team out there that can compete with them. They seem like they're just going to run away with it at this point. I wouldn't be the guy to bet against them right now.
All right, well, I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of our power rankings heading into Week 16. Let us know which teams you think we have too high and which teams you think we have too low. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.